Agastya is a very, very, very important sage in our story. In our story, as well as Agastya is a very important sage.
Didn't Agasthya curse Tataka?
Yes, he is the guy. He had cursed Tataka, that's correct. So Agastya actually belongs to the northern part of India. But he comes down south. There's a very interesting story. Yes.
Wait, why did Agasthya curse Tataka again?
Agastya cursed Tataka because Tataka's husband, you remember who was Tataka's husband?
Sunda.
Sunda was troubling Agastya when he was doing his penance and everything, his yagna yaga. That is the nature of demons. Everywhere demons are troubling all these nice people.
Didn't Agasthya kill Sunda?
Yes, Sunda. Yeah. He killed Sunda, and Tataka was very furious, was very upset with Agasthya that he killed her husband, and she started to charge against Agasthya. Agastya goes by rules, right? Agastya is a very righteous person. He's a sage, he's a muni. He doesn't want to kill a female. So he curses the female, saying that you will become a demoness. That is the story of Tataka. Now Agastya is in this area, in the Janasthan area of India, okay, of Bharatadesha. So now Rama wants to meet with Agastya. So he asked Sutikshna, can you please guide me to the place where Agastya lives? Sutikshna is extremely happy, and Sutikshna also thinks that yes, it is right time for you to go and meet with Agastya. When this kind of nice thoughts enter your mind, you should not delay it. You should immediately go and meet with Agastya. He tells him from here, goes towards south for 4 yojanas, and you will find Agastya's ashram. And in between they also meet with Agastya's brother. Agastya's brother's name is Sudarshana, but he's popularly known as Agastya Bhrata. Bhrata means brother. Agastya Bhrata means Agastya's brother. He's also a great sage, but his brother is magnanimous in nature that a lot of people just refer to him by his brother's name. His name usually doesn't get any reference because of how magnificent Agastya is and Agastya's contributions towards Sanatana Dharma and all that. They call him Agastya Bhrata. So they meet with Agastya's brother, and Agastya's brother tells them, okay, go in this direction, you'll meet with Agastya. So a little bit about Agastya and his story. So Agastya has there are 2 very interesting stories associated with Agastya. One story is about why did Agastya come to the southern part. Once he comes to the southern part, he never goes back to the north of India. And there is a very interesting story why. That is one story. And there is another story about 2 demons. One of them is called Vatapi, and Vatapi has a brother. And how does Agastya take care of Vatapi? That is another story. So we'll briefly cover these 2 stories. We'll talk about why Agastya came to the southern part of India. So in India, there is a mountain called Mount Meru. Meru is so tall. It is so tall that the first rays of sun meet Meru. Like they first fall on the mountain Meru and then to the other parts of the India. That is so tall. Mount Meru is so tall. And somewhere in the middle part of India, central India, there is a range of mountains called Vindhya. Vindhya, there is a very interesting story that Vindhya mountain has started growing in the height. Because Vindhya mountain at some point thought that, oh, I should be as great as Meru. Meru is getting the first sunlight, I should be the one getting the first sunlight. So I want to really grow and become to the level of Meru. Then he starts growing. And it has grown to such an extent that the entire area, this area, has started to freeze because the sunlight is not reaching the southern part of India. It is starting to freeze and become something like Himalayas. And it is not appropriate. Like it is a place where people should be living, right? So everybody comes and asks Agastya. Agastya is a very smart person, so they come and ask Agastya. This is the situation of Vindhya and the places further down south after that are following Vindhya. You should really do something about it and help us come over this kind of calamity. Then Agastya, what he does is he and along with his wife. I don't remember her name though. Agastya and his wife, they start traveling towards the southern part of India, and they come and ask Mount Vindhya that me and my wife, we are actually old. We cannot really climb you. You're so tall and enormous that we cannot climb you. Can you bow your head and flatten yourself for us? We need to go and we will be back. Until then, please maintain your flat stature. That is what Agasthya asks. And Vindhya mountain is very, Vindhya mountain also respects Agasthya a lot, and he immediately accepts and he flattens himself. This is a very mythical story. It sounds like a very mythical story. I really do not know how that is possible geographically, to talk to a mountain and ask the mountain to flatten himself and things like that, right? And also it is very you cannot really wrap your head around things like how can Vindhya mountain be thinking that I need to become taller than Meru mountain. So all these things are interesting stories. Just treat them like stories for now. Don't worry too much about how is it possible, how is it even possible. Don't get into those so many details. Just treat this as an interesting story. So Agasthya asks Vindhya mountain to flatten himself, and Vindhya agrees to flatten himself, and he passes. He and his wife pass through this area, and they come and settle down here, but they never go back to North India. So it means Vindhya mountain forever is waiting for Agasthya to go back to northern part so that it can grow again. But Agasthya never goes. And very interestingly, you will find a lot of temples in South India, lot of Shiva temples especially, and they say that lingam was pratishtha చేస్తారు కదా, విగ్రహం was put in that particular place by none other than Agasthya. Agasthyeswar ఆలయం చాలా ఉన్నాయి southern part of India. There are so many. Yes, there is one in Nana's native place also.
Oh,
you must have seen it, but you don't know the story. Yeah.
Didn't Agasthya die? So
No. All these, some of them are, I told you they are Chiranjeevi, right? I think Agasthya is one of them, if I'm not wrong, but I don't know. I need to check, subject to correction.
okay.
So Agasthya never went back to North India. So Vindhya mountain has flattened itself and staying in that stature forever. So that is one story of Agasthya.